Welcome to the Pulse with Peter B. I'm your host, Peter Biancamano. Let's get you to the pulse on everything you need to know. And we're here at a restaurant that in our nearly 3 years of existence, we've never spoke about on the show or visited. And we're happy to be at 1320 Adams Street in the beautiful city of Hoboken, New Jersey at San Giuseppe. We're going to go in. We're going to try the fare. We're going to talk to the owner, of course, named Giuseppe. Why don't we go in and let's have some fun? All right, now inside the beautiful San Giuseppe restaurant here in Hoboken, and we're here with the owner, Giuseppe Patti. Is that the best pronunciation you ever got of your name?
Best. People usually butcher it.
Butcher. Yeah, it's not Patty. A Patty's something you get like, in an Irish tavern. We're Italian.
We're
It's
Italian,
Patti, right?
Yes,
Exactly. So Giuseppe, you are located towards the back of town, 1320 Adams Street, as I mentioned in the intro.
Yep.
And, it's an interesting spot because my cameraman loved it because you have a parking lot outside, which is unheard of in the city of Hoboken.
Yeah, one of the biggest reasons why I bought it.
Exactly. So if you could tell the audience how many years you've been here and why you decided to come to this location.
So we came to the location. My brother lives in Hoboken. He's been here 11 years. The previous owner, because this was once owned from someone else.
Oh, wow.
Previous owner had it, and my brother would come here frequently to eat, and they exchanged numbers, and it was a private sale. It didn't even go on the market. So I really liked the spot because when I evaluated, his name was Giuseppe as well. His business, he did 0 private events. And in Hoboken, parking is very, very scarce. So I'm like, there's a big gap there where I could dominate private events. And I did. Second year in, I did about 90 private events. Wow. Unfortunately, the first thing they said was because I had parking.
Hey, you'll take it, right?
Yeah, no, I'll take it. But after they came and ate the food, that became their number one.
Then parking didn't matter.
Parking didn't matter.
Exactly. So now, you've been here as the owner for 4 years, you were
4
telling me
years,
off camera?
yeah, 4
But
years.
there was a previous owner, you said
There was
here.
a previous owner.
So how long has the San Giuseppe been here?
Like 8-9 years.
8-9, almost a decade in Hoboken.
Yeah, almost a decade.
And when better to come than visit my man Giuseppe, this Giuseppe.
This Giuseppe, yes.
Now, so obviously, Giuseppe, the pandemic has affected small businesses all across the country, unfortunately. We are still in a pandemic. I say this every week, according to the CDC.
Yep.
How did it affect your business, and how were you able to overcome some of the challenges?
We lost 85% of our business.
Wow.
So in April, we closed all of April. I was just scared for my staff. I didn't want anybody to get COVID. This is last April, the height of the pandemic. We didn't want anybody to get COVID, so we closed the first month. And then in May, we opened back up, and we're doing only deliveries. Honestly, the Hoboken community really helped us out.
It's funny, every business we've gone to in the city of Hoboken has said the community was unbelievable throughout.
Yeah, we owe them a great deal of gratitude.
I mean, 85%. I mean,
85%.
it's a year and a half into the pandemic.
We're
you still
we're
like?
still not at full capacity.
Oh, my goodness.
Fridays and Saturdays, we used to have a line out the door. Now we barely cover about 40 seats.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I mean, this is why it's important that we assist small businesses as much as possible. These big boys received a lot of money, from the federal government and so on and so forth. And although small business probably received some help, not even close to the amount that these bigger chain restaurants have received.
Yeah,
So-
and we only serve food. We have no liquor.
Oh, it's BYOB.
Bring your own.
Oh,
so
my
we
goodness.
have to pay everyone with just our food.
Wow.
So it's a struggle.
Yeah.
But we're still open.
Exactly. Well, you're still open and still kicking, and why wouldn't you be with this wonderful food right in front of us today? So we are going to go dish by dish here, and I want you to explain what it is, and in each dish, obviously. And I'm just going to start digging in.
Yeah,
So why don't we
of course.
start with this dish in front of me here?
So those are our famous mozzarella sticks.
I'm digging in.
I don't blame you.
Go ahead.
So, interesting fact about San Giuseppe, we make about 200 pounds of mozzarella every 2 days.
What?
Yeah. So our mozzarella sticks are probably one of the best sellers and appetizer.
I'm being rude. I'm going to give you one too.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
appreciate it. No, thank you so much.
Yeah, I don't know if you want some sauce. Yeah. Oh my God. Homemade.
Homemade.
Not many places in the city of Hoboken, folks, you can get homemade mozzarella sticks. And you could tell it's homemade because when you crunch right in there, the cheese texture compared to the breading is just on point.
So a lot of the
I'm double
recipes.
dipping.
Of course,
Excuse me.
a lot of the recipes actually come from my family. And so my mom's a phenomenal cook. So she really helped us with a lot of the recipes.
That is bomb, as the kids say these days. That is so good.
There's a little thing about social media on Instagram. A lot of bloggers post a lot of mozzarella sticks.
You could say Daria. You know, even though Daria, you're not here. We're still mad at you, but that's okay.
So a lot of people post pictures of mozzarella sticks, and I always challenge them to come to my restaurant, bring mozzarella sticks, and we'll have a mozzarella stick contest.
You know what? We're going to do it on the Pulse. You know, why not?
And no one has challenged me.
Well then, you know, I mean, I just don't. I can't blame them. These are phenomenal.
Thank you so much.
Moving on. This actually looks like mozzarella sticks, but they're not. This is a new special you have on the menu.
This is my, I call it the Italian egg roll.
The Italian egg roll.
Yeah. So it's fresh mozzarella, pepperoni, in an egg roll. Yeah. This one I'm gonna dip with you.
Oh my God.
So this is funny. So when I first put this on.
I'll tell you what, the flavor of the pepperoni, and you know, usually, sometimes you go to other places that make something similar to this, like a pizza roll or something like that, and there's too much bread. You don't taste enough of what's inside. These are so good.
So I put this online, and I was getting a little disappointed because they weren't selling, and I didn't know why.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, then the last week I've sold 80 orders of it.
8 in the last week.
The last week.
And we're filming this on Thursday, by the way, folks. So, you know, the week's not even over.
80 orders. Now I can't make them fast enough.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So it really takes, like, that's a thing, right? When you put something online, when you put something on social media, it takes a little while.
Absolutely.
For people to catch on to see what it is. Because it's interesting, right? An Italian egg roll. What is an Italian egg roll, right?
It is so good.
So I do a lot exposure through my Instagram.
Of course.
So I'll take pictures. I got a pizza coming out this week that I'm gonna experiment with and try it out. And I was a little disappointed because I thought this was gonna be a moneymaker. And now all of a sudden, in the last month, I can't stop making enough of them.
Well, listen, we will push it as much as possible here on the Pulse of Peter B.
I appreciate that.
We're running a little bit out of time, so we have
Let's
to
go.
get to your final dish.
Of course.
And I want you to explain what it is and maybe cut me a piece, if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind. This is the chicken burrata.
Okay.
So it's
Oh my God,
a
that looks
burrata
so good.
that we make in-house with 2 chicken cutlets over penning and a vodka sauce.
Oh,
this is like the Derek Jeter of the Yankees. This is the star. This is the star of the show.
Are you sure? Because those
This is-
mozzarella sticks and those egg rolls were phenomenal.
This is the star of the. This is definitely the star of the show.
Oh, look at the way
So,
that burrata is spreading.
So interesting. I was telling you off camera, when people come and actually come to the restaurant, and I get big tables, table of 6, table of 8.
Well, you have the space for it too. I mean, this is a decent-sized
Yeah, it's
restaurant for the
different.
city of Hoboken.
Yes,
Right.
and then the interesting fact is about this: no one wants to share it. So you get a couples that are come 6, 8 people, and they all get the same thing because they don't want to share it.
Do you ever run out? Is the question.
No.
No, he says. By the way, I already noticed how thin the chicken cutlet is
of course.
cut.
Yeah.
That's the way it should be. You go to these
course.
lazy restaurants where they don't pound their chickens properly,
Yeah,
right?
of course.
I'm thinking it, don't mind me.
Yeah.
By the way, kudos to Bobby Fraz, or Fraze. You know, I always mess up your name. Sorry, Bobby. He was the one who, you know, was raving about your pizzas, and we're going to come back and try it at another time. And
He actually mentioned this.
he did mention this dish. That's right. I was just going to
actually
say that.
mentioned this.
I'm digging in here. Oh wow. It's a vodka sauce, isn't it?
Yeah. Homemade vodka sauce that we make here.
That is awesome.
Thank you. I'm
Wow.
actually going to eat another bite.
Go ahead. Take it.
I haven't eaten.
Giuseppe, that is one, and you know, it's a unique dish. It really is that you
Yeah.
can't see at many different restaurants. here in
No,
Hoboken.
and I've seen people trying on social media trying to duplicate it.
Yeah.
But again, this is probably the best in Hoboken.
Oh, without a doubt. There's just not something like this, and whoever wants to duplicate it, you know, you might as well learn from the best, but he ain't gonna tell you his recipe anyway. All right, Bobby. Like I said, we're running a little bit out of time here. What are your hours here? Are reservations recommended if you accept reservations? And where can people find you on social media, so on?
Yeah,
so I'm gonna keep eating.
During the week, it's a little bit easier to come in. So we're Tuesday to Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is from 12:30 till 9 o'clock at night. Sunday is from 12:30 to 9 o'clock at night, and Friday and Saturday is from 12:30 to 10. So my IG is SG_Hoboken, and my Facebook is San Giuseppe Restaurant. But you see a lot of things, like definitely follow me on IG because I post a lot of pictures and stuff like that of specials that I'm doing. I haven't calmed down on the specials a little bit because of the pandemic.
Well, but this is a special, the egg roll.
Yeah,
and this is a special you're going to want to try. Specials don't last in restaurant. Maybe he'll put it on his main menu, maybe not.
Yeah.
So we shall see. Well, Bobby, I called you Bobby. Well, Bobby,
Right.
thank you for giving us the recommendation to come here. Giuseppe Botti, owner here at San Giuseppe. You need to come down to 1320 Adams Street if you have a car. You know, all those lazy people out there that don't want to walk Hoboken, they got a huge parking lot right outside for you. You don't have outdoor seating. It's a small area.
I do have outside seating.
Oh, you do? I'm sorry. I didn't
weekend.
see them out. Oh, on the
On the
weekend.
weekend,
Okay,
yeah.
see, this is Thursday. All right, so you're going to want to get over here, sit outside on the weekend, or sit inside. The ambiance is beautiful with this little oven in the back. Thank you for having us. We really appreciate
I
it.
appreciate you coming.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Folks, we will be right back.
Peter Biancamano, your hostess with the mostest of the Pulse with Peter B. Folks, don't forget to go on our Facebook and our Instagram pages by searching the Pulse with Peter B and like and follow us on each of those platforms. We're constantly updating those pages with previews of each week's segments and cool stories. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to our email address at thepulsewithpeterb@gmail.com. Welcome back to The Pulse, and now we're here at Maxwell Place Pier. And usually I am sitting down in a stool at the pier here today because, you know, I don't like to show how I'm dominant over the gentleman to my left. But today we had to show it. That's height dominance. I don't know what he's thinking, but we shall see. And that is our political analyst every week here on the show, Josh Sotomayor Einstein. Josh, how are you today, sir?
You just mentioned stool, and I just like to say to our viewers out there, he's full of stool.
I'm full of stool, exactly. So Josh apparently lost the stools in the storm from last Wednesday, from what I understand.
In which I had, I was out. I was helping my friends. So
You were. You did mention that, and of course he's going to rub it in every time here. Speaking of things being rubbed in, and that is the elections. The elections are being rubbed in our faces in Hoboken and Jersey City because we are less than 2 months away from Election Day. And I want to start with Jersey City because we did put a poll up earlier this week on the Pulse with Peter B Instagram and Facebook pages saying what election our viewers are more interested in, and Jersey City won, believe it or not. So you've obviously interviewed two of the candidates running for at-large, June Jones and Elvin Dominici, and hopefully we'll have more candidates coming up in the future. Your early analysis about the race going on.
So not only have I spoken to those two candidates on our show, but I've also, went to a school board candidate event in Jersey City, and have deep contacts in the activist world in Jersey City. It's a little bit weird because most of the activists there are super left wing, just like you, and 100% wrong. But you still got to give it up.
I
to
might be
people.
left wing, but I'm not wrong.
Oh, he's wrong all the time. That's why he's on the left side and I'm on the right side, which also means correct. But you got to give it up to people that run against the establishment, whether you agree with them or disagree with them, because it takes a certain amount of chutzpah, of testicular fortitude to do so. And just recently, when Mayor Fulop's opponent I think his name is Louis Spears,
Yes, correct.
came out against him very swiftly. Mayor Phillip's campaign came out with an attack on him based on the fact that for 11 years in the past, at some point in this gentleman's past, he had been a registered Republican. Now, Louis Spears says that he's a progressive Democrat, and there's no reason to doubt that he is a progressive Democrat. I wish people weren't progressive Democrats, but then I'd have less
He found a
friends
light,
like
folks.
this guy over
He found
here.
a light.
Regardless, it's ridiculous to attack people for past political affiliation,
Right.
especially when members of the Hudson County Democratic establishment, like Phillip, always say when it comes around to nonpartisan elections, well, this election's nonpartisan. So it's a little bit of hypocrisy going on in the mayoral race. Not more than we're used to, but definitely it seems a little bit weird that Mayor Phillip would be worried about this gentleman, when, Mayor Phillip is the 800-pound gorilla in the room.
So it's funny. So you mentioned a mayor's race. It is a two-pony race between Mr. Spears and Mayor Phillip. If we look at the city council, because as I mentioned, you did interview two of the council-at-large candidates running against Mayor Phillip's slates. It's pretty solid in every single ward. But I want to look at the at-large first. You basically have 7 people running with current councilman at-large Rolando Lavaro, who had a falling out with Mayor Phillip, basically throwing his name in at the last second, as you and John Hines have talked about on the show.
There was actually some hope that that people had in Jersey City that are against Mayor Phillip's administration. And just for the record, I call it like I see it, whether or not I like some things that you did and I don't like some things that you didn't do. I wouldn't vote for Mayor Phillip. I wouldn't vote for a progressive Democrat to be the dog catcher. So let's just get that out there and clear. But when it comes to Lavaro, I know that the anti-Phillip crowd, the crowd that wants more independent voices in Jersey City, they were hoping that Lavaro's break would have become public earlier, and that he would have ran for mayor because he has been elected. He does have a more established name, and so I know there were some people that were pinning their hopes that he would run against Phillip.
Interesting, right. So he really did throw a monkey wrench because you have this coalition now of June Jones, Chris Gadsden, and Elvin Dominici, 2 of the 3, like we said, we've interviewed. Chris, come on the show. What are you waiting for? Josh is waiting for you. Do you think that Rolando Lavaro is actually going to hurt their chances? I guess the independents that are running against a Phillip council at large slate, or they're going to hurt more of Mayor Phillip's?
Well, I think at the end of the day, they're Jones, Gadsden, and Dominici are running as a slate, and so there's a lot there's power in that. So if Lavaro does break off some of the non-Phillip voters, I think it'll be marginal, because they are running together.
Gotcha.
So I think if it's more than likely that if someone's going to vote for one of them, they're also going to vote for the other 2. Just statistically speaking. So I don't think it hurts that much. And I'm very curious to see how it ends up, because whether or not any of these 3 newcomers to politics, not newcomers to Jersey City, they all have very deep roots,
Right.
but whether or not one of them wins, 3 of them wins, 2 of them wins, Lavaro wins, Phillip's people win, it's going to be interesting, and it's going to have effects that reverberate for years to come in Jersey City. Will it be under the thumb of Mayor Phillip, that likes to attack people for past affiliations with the GOP, as if people aren't allowed to be members of the Republican Party and think for themselves, or
Not allowed, Josh. Only you're allowed in this county.
Apparently, it's not allowed. And actually, recently, for our viewers out there, they should know that our useless county GOP chairman Arango went to the defense of Phillip. For attacking Spears for his past Republican affiliation. And I was not endorsing Spears. I've never told anyone to vote for a progressive Democrat in my entire life. But we shouldn't attack people for having a different point of view in the past, right now, or in the future. People are allowed to change their minds. And the calcified political bosses in Hudson County just need to get over themselves and accept that.
Interesting. So, Josh, we have a little over a minute here. We're not going to, unfortunately, get to Hoboken, but we've beaten that horse over and over again. We might get to it
That's
the
a
next
dead
segment.
horse. We beat the crud out of that dead horse.
We actually might get to it in the next segment. We shall see.
We beat it so bad, PETA is calling us.
PETA's calling. Oh, God. My goodness gracious. Well, excuse me. We are animal lovers. Josh is a big animal lover. Trust me when I say that.
I love to play with them. I love to eat them.
You had an extremely – well, you were I guess, taking part or promoting an extremely successful event. We had a web exclusive earlier this week, which was the Big Tent Luncheon Fundraiser, whatever you want to call it, sponsored by the Hispanic Republicans of North Jersey earlier this week. But there is another event coming up that you want to tell the audience about in less than a week. So I was wondering if you do want to mention that.
Yeah, so the Big Tent fundraiser, because the GOP is a big tent, by the Hispanic Republicans of North Jersey, was absolutely amazing event. You were there. It was a packed room. But we have another event. It's the season of Republican activism. And on the show, Peter, even though he's a liberal Democrat, is a good guy. There's still some liberal Democrats that are good
and
guys
Frank
out
Rosner's
there.
a liberal Democrat and also a good guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy, right? No, he's a good guy. But, they're nice enough to let me promote Republican stuff. So I just want to tell you Republican viewers out there that on September 15th, in the W Hotel in the Halifax at 7 p.m., Jack Chittarelli and Diane Allen, the lieutenant gubernatorial candidate under Jack, will be at a fundraiser in Hoboken. And, if you remember, just, was it 2020, Jack came to the Lincoln dinner that myself and a couple others helped organize.
And we were there, and we will put a highlight clip of that below us, yeah.
And he's a wonderful, great speaker, and he's likely going to be the next governor of the state of New Jersey. So Republicans, independents, conservatives, libertarians, come on out. You'll see the link below my finger right now where you can buy the ticket, and we'll have a good time.
Well, yeah, the likelihood of that event going on is far greater, in my opinion, than Jack becoming governor. But we shall see in less than 2 months.
Murphy is one and done in 21, baby.
I completely doubt that, but like I said, we shall see. All right, Josh Sotomayor Einstein, thank you so much. You might be back the next segment because our next guest is not here, so maybe we'll have to continue this.
I'll survive.
He'll survive. All right, folks, we will be right back. Peter Biancamano back with you. Don't forget to watch us on cable access every Sunday and Monday at 9 a.m. Optimum Channel 18, Fios Channel 46, and Comcast Channel 190. Also on Sunday mornings at 9:30 a.m., you can watch our show on our YouTube channel, and you can also binge watch all of our old shows. Who doesn't want to keep watching The Pulse with Peter B? We'll see you there. Welcome back to the show. We are still stoolless here. We don't know what Josh did with them. We actually think he made a stool on one of the stools, and we're washing it right now, but we will see if we can find these chairs that we normally sit on. So joining us is a person who's not full of stool because he's always giving us his wonderful predictions on the show, and that is our sports insider, Eric Cruz. Eric, what's going on, my man?
Not much. Ready for the season to start.
I was going to say, week one,
Yes.
NFL season. We've been talking about this all summer, I feel like.
Feels like it.
All right,
I'm
all
excited
right.
now. It's like, I can't believe how fast that time went. We're here now. Season's here.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So it's going to be a little bit of a rapid fire here. We have four of what Eric Cruz thinks are the marquee matchups this week in the NFL. And why don't we start with one of our local teams, and that is the New York Football Jets going down to Carolina to face their former quarterback in Sam Darnold and those Carolina Panthers. Who do you like in this game, and what are you looking for in this game?
Well, what I'm looking for is the revenge game, right? Sam Darnold traded away for pretty much the rookie quarterback that the Jets drafted in Zach Wilson. So I'm going to see how Sam Darnold's going to handle, going against his old team. Carolina Panthers, they have so many weapons on offense. Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, Christian McCaffrey. That team is going to be ready to go. They're home. The fans are back in the stands. But for me, I think Rob Saleh is going to come in here and he's going to make a stamp right away. I think his Jets pull one out in an upset against the Carolina Panthers.
Wow,
this week.
interesting. An upset for all you JETS fans out there. My man Eric Cruz with the prediction. All right, second game that you wanted to feature today was those Green Bay Packers, the Aaron Rodgers drama of the summer, as I like to call it. But he went to camp.
Yep.
He looked phenomenal in camp, by the way.
Yep.
He looks like he hasn't missed a step, and he's like 37, 38 years old or something like that.
He's ready to go.
Taking on the New Orleans Saints, this would normally be, if Drew Brees was still their quarterback, probably the America's game of the week, according to Fox, right?
Sure.
But it's interesting now. What are we expecting from the Saints as they're visited by the Packers?
Well, I expect them to be honest with you, I think they're going to be throwing the ball. I don't think there's really going to be anything different. We all know Sean Payton has a couple tricks up his sleeve pretty much every week. He's such a creative offensive guy. But, Jameis Winston going in there, stepping as a starting quarterback after a couple years under Drew Brees, that's going to be exciting. It's also exciting to see Aaron Rodgers back. This team was the team that I predicted to win the division with Aaron Rodgers. Maybe struggle without him, but with him, they're a playoff, maybe Super Bowl contender. And that defense is going to be ready to go. It's going to be very fun. I think offensive lines on both teams are back together. They're all, I think maybe one or two guys are missing from both squads, but they'll be ready to go. And it's still, I feel like, one of the games of the week. This is going to be a very interesting matchup. It's going to be high scoring, but I'm going to take the Packers in this game.
You like the Packers?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Aaron Rodgers looking to, I hate to say this, but make a name for himself? Or
Yeah, right.
Still showing that he still has it? I mean, this guy's a future Hall of Famer.
And not only that,
it's
he's got a couple
ridiculous.
years left, so I think he may be, trying to show other teams that he can still go, just in case they don't work out in Green Bay.
Incredible. Okay, the next game, so it's interesting. You spoke about one of the teams in the AFC East earlier. Of course, that's the New York Jets. The next matchup are two other teams. The AFC East is really looking like one of the best divisions in football this season. So, to me, it's going to be really, really interesting who's going to be the 1, 2, 3, 4 seed in that division. But we have the early divisional matchup with the Miami Dolphins, who just keep getting better. Great coaching done in Miami. Absolutely great coaching done in Miami. Going against the New England Patriots. Would you ever root against Bill Belichick, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And, of course, they released Cam Newton, and Mac Jones will be their starting quarterback, which everybody saw coming. Only a blind man couldn't see that coming. But this is a tough test, in my opinion, for both of these teams. Who do you like?
I like New England. I'm always going to give the edge to Bill Belichick. He's the greatest coach of all time. But to me, I think Mac Jones has shown a lot of poise in the preseason. Kind of reminded me of when Dak Prescott came to Dallas. And when Tony Romo was hurt, and he showed a lot of poise in the preseason, actually helped him to get the starting job. So it's kind of like the same scenario for me, other than, Bill Belichick is the head coach here. But for me, it's going to be New England. I think New England's going to go in there and dominate. I think defensively, they got a couple of key acquisitions back. They get Dante Hightower, who opted out of out of the season last year. They picked up Judah from the Ravens, who's a great defensive end. So for the New England Patriots, I just think it was a reload year. They struggled a little bit last year with the quarterback, and all systems go. They're going to give the keys to the quarterback, the young guy, and they're going to see what he can do. Although I also want to mention this is also an interesting matchup because two Alabama guys, two on Miami and Mac Jones on New England. It's going to be interesting. All the ties, it's kind of came full circle with Brian Flores being under Bill Belichick for so many years. So interesting game, but I think New England will take care of Miami.
Absolutely. And really quickly, AFC East, Buffalo's still the premier team in that division?
Yeah, I believe so.
And then we'll see who's battling for second place.
I think it's going to be
I think
New
it's
England.
wide open.
Yeah, I think it's going to be New England's going to be punching, they're going to be throwing some blows with those guys. Bill Belichick's he's a winner. He's not going to be, we're not good enough to go. He's going to have this team ready to go, and I think they're going to have a good year.
All right. Well, final game that we want to get to here, the Chicago Bears visiting the Los Angeles Rams. So the Rams are opening up, I believe they're opening up their brand new stadium.
Yeah, with fans, finally.
With fans. That's right, correct, because they were there last year with no fans. See,
Yeah.
that confused me. But you know what? They are opening up their brand new stadium. There's fans there. So, this is two teams that have new quarterbacks. I mean, Chicago's going with the Red Rifle and Andy Dalton, sitting the kid for a little while in their rookie. And, of course, L.A. made that blockbuster trade over the summer for Matthew Stafford. This is going to be a heck of an interesting game, in my opinion. And I can't make the prediction. Good thing that's what you're here for. So.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go with the Rams. They are my NFC West Division winners. I predicted them, in the show previous.
We remember that.
But I think with Matthew Stafford there, this offense is going to be so explosive. They're going to be fun to watch. Tyler Higbee, he's a guy that I've been kind of following through camp. He's going to be one of Matt Stafford's favorite guys. And guys like Robert Woods, the running backs are a little hurt, but I think the Rams offense with Cooper Kupp and those guys, they're going to be ready to go. For me, Chicago is going to struggle a little bit early. Their offense is it's going to take a little while to get some traction, but I mean, hopefully the Red Rifle could get it going. Hopefully he can, win some games, keep them in the playoff run or whatever. But it's only a matter of time until Justin Fields takes over, and that team is going to, get it going with that quarterback. But in this game, the Rams they're just too dominant. Defensively, they're dominant. Quarterback is good. I think the Rams are going to take it.
Absolutely. Well, Eric Cruz, hopefully you'll be here every week now. We have big
that'd be
matchups every week in the NFL. Week 1, this weekend. We know where Eric will be. I'm pretty sure I know where you guys are going to be as well. Thanks, my man. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
Absolutely. Folks, thank you for joining us this week. Join us next week for The Pulse on everything you need to know. I'm Peter Biancamano. I hope you have an extremely great week, everybody.
The Pulse with Peter B. is a proud partner of Eyes on NJ.